Welcome back to my forever island. Today we're working on a farm space in front of my house. I've had this space dedicated forever. Like, these little dirt and sand patches were there for months because I just knew that this space would be so cute with a little farm. Finally, it's time to start building out the layout, and I did make a little bit of changes. You'll see when I'm doing this path that I didn't love how busy it was, so I ended up making like a center space that you could walk through. And I also had to get rid of a bunch of trees that I planted because this is one of my only open spaces on the island. I find it used to collect a lot of stuff, whether that be items that I had dropped or money trees or, like you saw earlier, the bamboo. They just kind of end up in this space. I had put off completing this build because I was looking for that wooden shed. I thought it would be really integral for this space, but it was getting really ugly and I was so tired at looking at all the dropped items that I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make my farm space and I can come back to it and improve it later on. I grabbed my crops from behind my resident services. I had planted them here just so that I could make some money off them, and this is when the recipes first came out. I was really excited about cooking and crafting, so I wanted to have everything available. I didn't love the placement of the original farm, as well as I thought it was a little ugly just because I hadn't decorated anything, so I'm really glad to have everything moved together now and in a much nicer and confined space. For this build, I decided to do 2 dirt rows and 2 sand rows, and then I started adding some fences, continuing the country fence that I had before as well as some rope fences because I like the variety. I think a staple for my builds now when I use fences is always have a rock in the corner, and then I wanted to get this backspace decorated before it got closed off. I had to delete some fences and move around, but I wanted to add a couple of farm things and related furniture. Like this veggie basket would have been perfect, but I just got access to sugarcane. I had like barrels and buckets, the little wheat field item, of course a pot, and this little birdhouse, as well as a water feature and a butter churn, because why not? I grabbed some wellies and a compost, as well as a cocoa tree that looks like it's being sprouted. I made some more items. I know this build was going by really fast. A hay bed, I put a pumpkin on that little rock, as well as a toolbox. I moved stuff around and added this little water jug. At this point, I started messing with some custom paths. I tried adding these little pebbles, but I wasn't too sure about that, as well as I wanted to bring the dirt path that already existed towards the space so that the build was more cohesive with what was already there. I think adding these little dirt patches under items is really helpful for making the space look more lived in, and I thought a stump would look really cute in this corner here. One easy hack for when you're decorating outdoor spaces like this is just use tools that are placed down, like shovels and watering cans really add to the ambiance and atmosphere of these builds. Here I just took some time to grab all of my harvestables, and I wanted to see if I could find the other color of pumpkins, but I actually didn't have them at this time. I do end up getting them later because of a friend, so thank you, Lucy. And then I took a moment just to take care of this space, see if it was workable, because although this is a decoration, this is something I do want to use for getting resources as well as making a couple of bells. I did leave those blank spaces just so I could expand and add those extra pumpkins later. In the future, I can always add or remove crops as I see fit. And this is the space a couple of days later when everything's grown in. It looks so good, especially with the 3 items per crop. The space looks full and flourishing, and now that I have everything, I can actually make that veggie basket, which I think will be so cute in this space. And I just put it next to the boots, so it looks like someone came through and harvested the whole garden so that they could make something delicious for dinner. I didn't forget about that space behind residential services. I wanted to make sure that this build was complete, and I didn't want to leave this area looking ugly, so I made sure to grab all of the extra crops that I didn't use in my build. And I just ended up selling the excess, as well as this fossil that happened to be there. And then I started to remove these dirt paths so that I can use this space for something else. It's quite a nice open space and it's quite central to my island, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do here yet, but I am really excited about its potential. So if you have any suggestions, let me know what you think should go here on my island. Finally, I did a last little walkthrough just to see everything put together, because I know I put it together really fast. I think the orange tulips and the orange pumpkin look so cute and matchy, and this corner, of course, is my favorite. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. According to my analytics, 94% of people watching my videos are not subscribed. So stick around if you like my style and want to see more builds.